Welcome to Trailblazing Out of Corporate Life, episode 64. Today, I'm going to get real technical with you and give you your 5 next steps to build your online business from scratch on the side while you're working full time. So if you feel like that's something that you need, this is a podcast episode for you. And I'm gonna be here giving you a few references of past episodes that I've done where you can really drill into each one of these pieces of advice. So stay tuned for that. But this episode is going to be great for professionals who have ever said this to anyone before. I want to start my own business. I just don't know where to start. If you've ever said that to anyone, this is the podcast episode for you. So over the past several weeks, the only kind of podcast that I have created the only podcast episodes I've recorded have been about mindset because, and you're going to hear me talk a little bit about this in this episode, without the mindset, you're dead in the water, okay? Without the mindset, this is simply not going to work. So that's why I really focus on that on the podcast. And then I realized, you know what? I haven't really given practical, advice that you can actually follow. My last episode was actually really good. It was about how to come up with your idea. So I'm gonna probably be referencing that in this episode. But I really wanted to come here and tell you the tactics, the 5 things that you need to have in place now so you can get started and replace your salary by next year. Because I have that as my mission, to get as many people as possible to replace their salary in 2020. 2020 is our year, okay? So if that's you, if you're ready for this, and if you got a pen and paper or your computer or whatever it is to start writing down some notes, this is it for you. So I should tell you guys that I'm in Israel right now, and you can see the video version of this and any of my podcast episodes by going to inakoveny.com/64, the episode number. I should warn you though that I recorded this episode with really bad internet connection, so I had to forego the video part of the content that you're about to hear. But this intro was recorded by video, so I'll give you this, and then the following part is just going to be audio. So if you're more of a YouTube watcher, or you just want to go to inakoveny.com/64, you will see, and I just actually did a little pan so you can see I'm on a bus right now and you can see the outside of my window. I'm just going through Jerusalem right now, and it's amazing. It's been a great trip. You can follow it on Instagram. It's right there at inakoveny, but you have to spell Coveney right. It ends in EY. And yeah, I've just had the trip of a lifetime. And I want you guys to know that this is why I do what I do, so that you can enjoy freedom of time and choice. Some people call it financial freedom. I call it freedom of time and choice. The freedom to do what I want when I want to do it. So coming here to Israel was a dream of mine, to come with my mother to the Holy Land. It was a dream that finally came true because I'm not tied to vacation time. I will never have vacation time again. I just make decisions, judicious decisions, smart decisions, responsible decisions on what to do with my time every single year based on how I want my life to feel like, to look like, to be like, rather than whether I have enough vacation days for it. And that's how I want you to start making decisions in your life. And for that, we need to get your business started doing something that you absolutely love so that you can do whatever you want with your time. And you can take advantage of trips and opportunities like these everywhere you go. Right now, you may be hearing some background noise because we're about to get to the next stop. I am on a bus right now in Israel going to the next stop. It's our last day in Israel, and I did not want to pass up another day without giving you guys some really good advice. So I am going to get going. Make sure to go and download my salary replacement 1-year roadmap, because that's there ready for you. And it's a great complement to this podcast episode, because there's a lot of things in there that are going to be requirements for you to be able to replace your salary within the next year. Okay, so just go to inacoveney.com/join and that will get you straight there. You also get added to my mailing list, but nobody is a hostage. Okay, you can unsubscribe at any time. Everybody's starting to get rowdy here. So you can unsubscribe anytime, but that guide is actually going to be an amazing complement to this episode. So go out and get it, inacoveney.com/join, and the salary replacement 1-year roadmap is the first thing you get, is the first email you get. All right, I'm not going to be able to hear myself very soon. So here's a podcast, more after this. If you're a corporate trailblazer with a secret life as an entrepreneur, welcome home. I'm your host, Ina Coveney, and the podcast begins now. Hi, everyone. If you guys could see where I am right now, I am at the pool spot of the hotel where I'm staying in Israel. Today's my last day in Israel, and I vowed to record 1 podcast episode a week, and it would get released every Wednesday. This is something that is extremely important. I tell everyone to do it this way or to not do it at all. So I'm sticking to my own advice and actually giving this to you guys once a week. So today we are going to talk about how do you actually start your business online. I feel like I have been talking to you guys about mindset in this podcast a lot. And there's a reason for that. And that is that I can come here and give you all the strategy all day long. And it's gonna matter none. It's not gonna do anything. You're not gonna move the needle at all unless your mindset is there. And I'm gonna give you a couple more examples about how important that is. But today I really wanted to focus a little bit on hard practical strategy. All right. So I have 5 things, your 5 immediate next steps to start your side business so that you can start replacing your salary, so you can do whatever you want, so that 2020 is the year that you submit your resignation effective immediately. I don't need this anymore. I'm going to go focus on something that I want, and to start opening up your schedule, to start opening up your life to many, many more amazing experiences like this one, like being in Israel with my mother for 10 days. This is something I would have never thought that I would be doing. But because I managed to clean up my schedule and say, I'm not going to work at that job anymore, I'm going to do my own thing, what happened was all of a sudden I had all of this flexibility, right? Like opportunities would just keep coming up. Opportunities that maybe they were there when I was working full time, but maybe people didn't feel like they could ask me about it because I was working full time, because my vacation days were numbered, right? I only had 2 or 3 weeks of vacation that I had to juggle. 1 week was for December, right? 1 week was for the holidays. Another week was to go visit family in Dominican Republic, in Texas, in Florida, in Chile, right? And that's 2 weeks were gone. And then the other week was, okay, am I going to do something small with my family? Like 3 days here, 2 days there. So my vacation days were already all taken up. So even if opportunities came up for me to do something different, for me to travel someplace, I wasn't going to do it. I didn't have enough vacation time. It was just completely unrealistic for me to do that. So once I did away with the job and I did away with the vacation restrictions, I started to see life in a completely different way. I started to see my year as, what do I want my year to look like? What do I want to do now to advance my business? Like go to conferences or go to retreats to hang out with really cool people, or to see my sister be pregnant. I did not get to see my sister pregnant when she was pregnant with her first kid. And now that she was pregnant with her second, she was traveling. She lives in Chile. She was traveling to Canada, to Toronto for a conference or for a training or whatever work thing that was. And I'm like, she is up in this hemisphere. I need to go see her. So I talked to my husband, and over a long weekend, I said, okay, I'm leaving. I'm going to go do this. And because I didn't have the restriction of time, I felt like I could do that, like I wasn't missing out on doing something else, because now my time is my own. So that's what I want for you guys, because I know that you don't see it right now. I know it feels like the way that it felt for me, that once you stop working, Starting a business takes a lot of investment. It's like the money's not going to be pouring in after the first month or the first 6 months, right? So you're going to feel like, well, I'm not going to be taking a lot of vacation after I start working for myself. But the truth is that if you have your finances set up right, you can use your business money for business expenses. So you can actually travel places for business, like go to conferences and things like that, on things that don't mess with your personal finances. So things start to open up for you. I felt like I wasn't going to be able to take a vacation in a long time. And all of a sudden, I'm saying yes to opportunities to go to Colombia, to go to Israel, to go to Canada, to go to Chile again, to see my sister's new baby, right? Baby has been born, beautiful baby boy, Oliver, and we're going to go see him over Thanksgiving. So what am I trying to tell you here? Yes, I'm going to teach you strategy, but I just want you to be completely aware of this fact. It's not going to matter. Even after listening to this episode, you're probably not going to take much action at all. And if you do, it's going to be fleeting. It's going to be passing. So I'm going to do my best at giving you the advice that I need to give you so that by 2020, by this time 2020, you are looking at resigning from your job. That's my mission for 2020. But it's gotta be your mission too. If it feels like it's not realistic, then it's just not gonna happen. Because people are not just gonna hand this to you on a silver platter. You have to have that vision and you have to make it happen. It has to be a goal. It can't just be a dream. So I'm going to do my best at giving you stuff that is actionable. Okay? So that's what we're going to talk about today. 5 steps. These are your next 5 immediate steps on how to start your online business. Are you ready for this? Okay. Here's the deal. If you're starting your side business, I really want you to stop this and listen to episode 33. Okay? Actually, you can listen to episode 33 after listening to this. Don't stop this yet. I got a really, really good stuff here. Episode 33 of the podcast is an episode that I created about how to stay legally compliant with your current full-time job while you pursue a side business. Okay, so if that's a concern of yours, that maybe you are infringing on their intellectual property, that you are working on something else on company time, that your idea is too close for comfort to the stuff that you're currently doing at work. How do you navigate that? That's a whole different story, and I want you to listen to episode 33 of the podcast for that. All right? So just go back to that one to get that covered. I'm not going to cover that here. So, okay, step 1 is not going to surprise you because this is something that I tell everybody because it's something that's how it worked for me and that's how it works for countless different people out there. That things don't move until this gets done, okay? So step 1, get yourself a coach. Okay, I know this sounds super self-serving, but I'm going to tell you it doesn't have to be me, okay? This has nothing to do with me. This has more to do with you than with me, okay? If you resonate with a coach, sign to work with them. Somebody who's been where you've been, somebody who's done what you want to do, somebody who has the social media presence that you want to have. That's the kind of person you should be signing up to work with. Because guess what? Starting a business is hard. You know what's even harder? Starting it by yourself. It's really, really difficult to keep yourself on task, even if you're a go-getter. Even if you're a type A. I was all of those things. And it was years and years before I actually felt like I was doing something productive and something consistent with my time. So I don't want that to be you. I don't want to talk to you 5 years from now and you still listening to this episode and be like, okay, let me go back to Ina's episode and see how I can get this done. I want you guys to do this now. I understand. I know that the mindset comes first. So if you're already there, if you're like, okay, no, I really want to do this and I really want 2020 to be the year I quit my job, then your first step is to sign to work with someone who knows what to do. It's like when you go to college. You go to college to acquire all the knowledge from people who know it, right? You don't just go off and read some books to become an engineer. You pay for that education. And at the end of the education, the college doesn't guarantee you a job. You are on your own. That's how a coach works. A coach is going to give you all of the information, all of the guidance, all of the motivation, all of the information that you need to actually make this happen. But the actions are on you. The responsibility falls on you. You're not hiring a consultant who's going to do stuff for you and they can guarantee results. You are the only one who can guarantee results. So you sign with someone that you believe you're going to get a lot out of, and you treat it like a college education. This is my education on my starting my business. What do I need to do with social media? What do I need to do in terms of mindset? Who should I be following in terms of mindset? What do I need to think, feel, believe in order to make this idea work, right? What do I do if I have a small mindset, a small money mindset? If I'm here thinking, you know what, I just want to do this to make enough money to survive. I don't really want to make a lot of money. That's a recipe for disaster. Because what happens is when we set the bar too low, we make it to about halfway there. So when we set it really high and we make it about halfway there, we accomplish so much more than our wildest dreams allowed. Okay? So that's really an important part of starting your business, is getting yourself some help. Is it a coach? Is it a program? Is it an organization? Is it a coaching certification? Whatever it is, get yourself some education about how to start your business, and especially the motivation and somebody to be able to, I was going to say string you along, but that's not what I mean. To pull you forward, right? I'm making a motion with my hand like I'm pulling you, like you're in a wagon and I'm pulling you forward, right? That's what you need when you're starting. Okay? You don't have momentum yet, so you need someone to give you that momentum. Somebody that you can run ideas by. Somebody that can tell you that's a good idea, or that's a bad idea, or this is what the standard is, or this is what most successful people do. Somebody who's going to give you what you need at that time and keep you moving so you have enough momentum to keep going by yourself. So, step 1, get yourself a coach. If you don't know how to get yourself a coach, right? There's very easy ways to do this. Like me on my website, I have a big button that says schedule a call. My website is just my name, inacoveney.com, but you have to spell Coveney right. It ends in EY, okay? You go there and you can book yourself on my calendar and we just talk. So how do those conversations go? We talk about your goals. We talk about what is it that you actually want to do? What is it that you have already tried? What are the challenges that you see in front of you? And then we determine whether I can help you. I actually don't work with just anyone. I work with people who are actually ready to get this done and to get this going. So I need to ask you a whole bunch of questions to qualify you to work with me. Because Adam Urbanski said it best. He said, I don't just want to put money in my pocket and try to give you advice. That's not my job. What I want to do is create success stories. So I don't want to just work with anyone. I want to work with people who are so ready that by the end of the time working together, they're going to be a success story that I can tell the whole world about. And you will hear me talking about my clients on the podcast, on my Facebook group. You'll see me showcase my clients because I like it when they are successful. It makes me look good and it advances their own life. Win-win situation. So that's kind of how those calls go. It's a half an hour and we get there and we see if I can help you. We see if you are a good fit to work together to get you where you want to be in 3 months. Those are my packages. My packages are 3 months long. But we're not here to talk about my packages. This is not a sales conversation. I'm just telling you, get yourself a coach. If you want to see what the experience is like, what a coach can actually provide, I'm going to give you a secret that you may not realize. Okay? Because you may be like me, like consuming all of this information for free and thinking to yourself, I don't really need a coach if I have all the information for free. I'm going to give you a secret right now. Me as a coach is very different from me as a content creator. As a content creator, yes, I'm here teaching, but it's so not tailored to you that I can't give you very specific advice on a podcast. Otherwise, I lose 95% of my audience, right? So when you work with a coach, specifically, you get really specific advice that you're not going to hear anywhere else because I don't feel like it applies to the first tier of my audience, right? I don't feel like it applies to everybody who's listening to this podcast. So if you want to get a taste for what that's like, I do run personal workshops. They're one-time sessions and I run them every couple of months. So if you want to sign up for that and get some direct advice on your next steps, go to inacoveney.com/workshop and sign up for the wait list. I haven't decided when I'm going to have the next one, and this podcast is going to be out there forever. So I'm just going to give you that link, and that link is where you can sign up. If a workshop is open, you can sign up for the next one there. And if there's a wait list, you can sign up for the wait list there. So So go do that. People have walked out with mind-blown moments because they didn't realize that the advice could be so specific, and they walk away with a full brain of things to do that you would not get just by listening to this podcast. Okay, are you guys ready to move on to step number 2? Great. Okay. Step number 2, pick one idea and one idea only. I was talking to someone yesterday on Messenger who was telling me that she's been very informally providing the service for her family and friends. And, but she has also done some business marketing, some business planning, some business strategy work. But she doesn't really know which one is going to make her money. So she's kind of just doing both and seeing which one works. Okay, I'm going to give you a dog whistle phrase right now that every time I hear it makes me cringe. It throws alarm bells all over my brain. I'm going to give you what that phrase is so that if you ever hear yourself saying this phrase, those alarms should be going off for you too. And that is, I'm going to try this, and if it works out, that's a phrase. If it works out, then I'll put more money, more time, more resources into it. That's a phrase. If this works out, I will blank. I will do X. I will start doing this. You guys, that should throw alarm bells all over the place. It should light up like a Christmas tree when somebody says that. If you are saying that, it should be lighting up as a Christmas tree. That's a recipe for you actually getting nothing accomplished, because things don't just quote unquote work out magically, overnight, or quickly. Things don't just do that. You are the one who make it do that. I just signed to work with another coach. I have like 5 coaches that I work with, but each one provides a different aspect of my business. But there's this one coach that I started working with who her path was not, let me see if this works out and then I'll do something else. Her path was, no, this is my vision, this is my goal, and I'm not gonna rest until I accomplish that. So I want you guys to understand the difference between saying I'm going to stay the course on something that doesn't work and saying I'm never going to quit. There's a big difference between those two. If you have a vision and you're not going to stop until you meet it, that doesn't mean keep doing what you're doing until it works. That means keep doing what you're doing to get there, but continue to pivot. Continue to evolve. Continue to change your mind about things, but never lose sight of the final goal. Okay? That's a very, very different thing than saying, oh, but Ina said I should just keep doing what I'm doing and eventually it will work out. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is don't quit your vision after a couple months of something not working. Okay? Hold your vision and your goal in place and keep doing all the right things, investing on the right programs, getting advice from the right people, continue to engage with your audience, continue to do the things that I'm going to keep talking about. We still have 3 more points to go on this. Continue doing those things and keep pivoting. Change your product, change your audience, change things to see what works, but never quit and never stop. So if you ever find yourself saying, I'm going to try this and see if it works, you got the wrong mindset for this. You got to switch it to be, I'm going to try this and continue to evolve until I reach my goal. I'm never going to stop until I reach my goal. That should be the mentality here. Okay? So when I tell you pick one idea and one idea only, that means that this person that I was talking to yesterday, who had 2 different ideas and actively working on both of them, I gave her very sweet advice. Dude, pick one. Pick one. She told me herself, she's like, I don't have time for stuff, right? I don't have time to do anything. I don't have time to get on a phone call with you. I don't have time to go on a workshop with you. I don't have time to do any of this. I'm like, I know. We all have that problem. We all don't have time, right? So what are you doing focusing on 2 ideas? Pick one and run with it wholeheartedly. If it's not what you really want to do, pivot and do something else, but never lose sight of your goal. So the best way to do this is to pick one idea and run with it. If you need a little bit of help with that, I want you to go back and watch the episode that came before this one, episode 63. In that one, I tell you how to pick your idea. I came up with this like 10-step exercise. It's sort of like a 10-step game. And if you really know which idea is going to be the one that you want to do, you're going to stop at step 1. Okay. But if you really are having trouble picking between 2 ideas, go through the entire 10 steps. Go back to episode 63, listen to it with a pen and paper, with your computer and a notepad. Like, go through each one of those steps and figure out which idea is going to win and start with that one. I want to also tell you something that I heard, and I don't remember where I heard it, but it was super impactful, which was, how do you know that you're on the right track? How do you know that you picked the right idea? Okay. If you feel like you did not pick the right idea, there's 2 different ways to feel that. Okay. Way number 1 to feel it is, holy crap, I made the wrong choice. This is actually not what I want to do with my life. This is not it. This thing that I'm focusing on is not what I want to do. Even if I succeed, I don't want this. That's one way to feel it. The other way to feel like you're on the wrong path is when you feel like this is what you want to do for your life, but it's not working, right? Things are not working. Things are not gelling. People are not responding. Okay? And I'm going to tell you which side I would rather be on. I would rather be on the side where things are not working. That I've chosen my passion, but it's not working. That just means you need a little bit more help. Go back to step 1 of this podcast, right? Get yourself a coach. You need a little bit more help to identify your audience, to validate your idea, to really have a bigger vision, to identify who else has been down that path and follow their steps, right? It means that you just need to pivot your strategy, but you did find your passion, and that's the hardest part. So stick with it and try something else. I would hate to be on the side of someone who picked the wrong idea. But guess what? If you pick the wrong idea, stop what you're doing and run through those exercises on episode 63. Okay? And pick the right idea and start over. But don't give up. Okay? That's how you pick your idea, and those are the steps to pick your idea. But pick just one and focus all of your limited time, energy, and resources on making that one work. You don't have much time. Focus it right. So step 3, validate your idea. A business is not a business until it starts to make money. Okay? So Sonny Lenarduzzi said that. A business is not a business until it starts to make money. So how do you validate your idea? As soon as somebody pays you for something, you validated that people are willing to pay for that thing. You're on the right track. So how do you validate your idea? I have an entire method, an entire process that you can run through by yourself. And that is back in episode 1 of this podcast. So listen to the first 5 episodes of this podcast for the idea validation challenge that I ran back in July 2018. It's still relevant and it's still going to help you. Okay? Validating your idea is the first thing you should be doing. Okay? If somebody has already paid you for it, great. Idea validated, but your work is not done. Part of idea validation is to go out and talk to your audience. Go out and talk to potential clients. You need to really know what your ideal client is like, what they're going through, what their demographic is, what their intentions are, what their goals are, what their dreams are, how they see themselves. You need to really understand all of this to create content that is going to attract them. Otherwise, you're going to skip to the next step in this list, and you're going to start to create content that resonates with no one. You want content that resonates with your ideal client, with people who are going to pay you to work with you. That's who you're trying to attract. You're not trying to save the entire world. You're trying to attract people that you can specifically help and who are in a position to pay for your services. This is a business. So you got to think of your audience as potential clients. Okay? For me, I'm going to tell you right now, every single person who's listening to this episode is a potential ideal client for me. And I want you to notice that the content in this episode is directly targeted at people who want to start a business on the side, right? How do I know that? Because in the beginning, I told you, hey, if you're starting this on the side, go check out episode 33, right? Somebody who's not doing this on the side, they may listen to my stuff and they may follow me and I may be able to help them still. Okay? But my message is going to be targeted at people who want to start their businesses on the side. Okay, so I want you and your message to be targeted at a specific someone. Who is that specific someone? If you've said, well, it's everybody who wants to quit smoking, for example, that is way too broad. Are you really going to work with every single person who wants to quit smoking? Probably not. There's a whole mindset piece that goes into it, right? You want to catch people where they're at. You don't want to try to convert people to not smoking when they have no intention of quitting smoking. All right? They're not your ideal client. Your ideal client is someone who is thinking to themselves, I really want to do this, but I don't know how. So how do you attract that person? By going out, interviewing some of these people and finding out how they're thinking about their smoking habit. Where are they in life? All right? You got to find out all of these things, and that's all part of idea validation. So go through those steps. Go back to episode 1 of this podcast and listen to the first 5 episodes. That's my idea validation challenge. Do that. Okay? Stop everything and do that. Let's go to step number 4. Building an audience. Okay. So congratulations. You've picked your idea. You've created your business, right? You're in compliance with people at work. You know exactly what you want to do. And now it's time to start building your audience. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to see a lot of people on a lot of mediums. I am on YouTube. I'm on Facebook in 3 different ways. My Facebook personal profile, my Facebook group, and my Facebook business page. I also have different parts of my business for lead generation. Like I founded podcasting classes in Boston.com. So I teach podcasting as a way to attract leads, right? I have a podcast. I am on Instagram and Insta stories and IGTV. So you may be thinking, do I have to do all of that for this to work? And the answer is no. Businesses only need a couple clients to get started. Okay? You do not need 1,000 followers on day 1. So I'm going to tell you what you absolutely need to start. And that is a Facebook page. I'm not even going to tell you website. You guys, I am a WordPress expert. I am a website expert. I've been building websites forever. I know what a good website can do for your business. But I'm going to tell you right now, having a website doesn't do magical by itself. You got to use your website correctly. All right? There's a right way and a wrong way to have a website. And I don't want you to go down the path of creating your website by yourself and then doing everything wrong. I'm sorry, but doing everything wrong and then saying to yourself, oh, I created a website and it's not working, right? I want you to be ready to have a website so you can do it right. So don't start there. Start with a Facebook business page where you can create posts and you can start to boost them. All right. Turning posts into ads, essentially. So you can start attracting new audiences and growing your audience that way. All right. And you can have a place that you call home that people can Google you and find you. A Facebook page is the cheapest, most efficient way to do this. So you start with your Facebook business page and that's it. You just start there. That's basically the equivalent of your website until you educate yourself enough to know why you need a website in the first place and how to use it efficiently for Google search engine optimization, for capturing leads, for attracting traffic, for keeping the traffic that you get and not let it go into oblivion. How do you keep a blog and why is a blog important? Do you really need to be blogging? Do you need a podcast? Don't worry about any of that stuff when you're starting out. Get yourself a business page, educate yourself on how to boost posts to generate an audience, and you're off to the races. Okay? Google a lot. I'm not going to cover all the details here, but do a lot of Googling on how to create a great Facebook page. Okay? So that's the next thing you're going to do to start building an audience. Here's the thing. I'm not going to move on from this spot until I tell you this. I want you to come up with the social media outlet that is your sweet spot. Okay? If you're the kind of person who loves to talk, all right, maybe a podcast is a really great medium for you. If you're the kind of person who loves to be on video, who looks great on camera, who has that director of photography eye to make something look amazing, or you know about video editing, maybe video is your medium. Right? You want to find a place in the online world that you really excel at. For me, that's video. I mean, every single podcast episode that I record on video. This one didn't make it on video because I'm in Israel and the internet connection in my hotel is not awesome. This is not representative of Israel, just this hotel Wi-Fi. It's just awful. We would have just broken up, and it's just not efficient for me. But I am going to record a little video to put on LinkedIn and to give to my group. But I record most of my podcast episodes on video in my Facebook group. I love video. I feel like I thrive on it. It's my place. That's why I have a YouTube channel. Okay? So find your place in the world and then use it consistently. Is it your Facebook page? Is it your Facebook group? Is it Instagram? What's your sweet spot? Stick with it and do it really, really well. Post consistently, and then once you start to get more bandwidth or you start to get the hang of it, you can start to repurpose your content and post it in different social media outlets. So do you have to start everywhere? No. Get yourself a business page and find your sweet spot social media presence where you're going to be showing up consistently at least once a week to give people something they absolutely need. Okay? Let's go to the final step. Step number 5. Coming up with great irresistible offers and continuing to test them. Okay? So, an irresistible offer, what is it? So, if you are listening to this, it means that you want to start a business on the side. It means that you are really wondering where to start. All right? So, I would recommend to you that you come to one of my workshops, right? It's 2 hours. It's an intimate group setting where we do hot seats, where you get a spot, a time slot where I give you specific advice and answer all of your specific questions about your business. And it will be stuff that you have not heard me say before, because it's going to be so tailored to you that you walk out with something you have not seen anywhere else. So I recommend that would be a great next step for you. And that way you see what my coaching style is like, and you may decide, like many people have done, to just work with me one-on-one to get more out of your experience, to actually get this done in 3 months, to get your full social media presence, to get your website done, everything with me in 3 months, right? So how do you come up with irresistible offers? Just like that. So how are you going to come up with your irresistible offer? I just came up with mine and I just showed you what it is. What is your irresistible offer? What is something that is an immediate leap from your content to something that people can pay for to get more out of you? What is that going to be? Perhaps it would be too big a leap to say, hey, anyone who's listening to this podcast wants to set up a call with me to work with me one-on-one. That probably would be a big leap, because I actually don't know what stage in their business or what stage in their mindset people who are listening to this are, right? But I have a fair idea. I feel like, we will work together at some point. What do you feel like is your leap from the content that you're providing or that you want to provide and an offer that people cannot resist? An irresistible offer. What can you give them right now that they need? What is an immediate next step from the content that you're providing to buying something? It doesn't have to be your premium service. It doesn't have to be, hey, come work with me one-on-one. It could just be, hey, let me give you this guide, right? Come up with a guide, create it on canva.com, come up with a guide that is really useful, that synthesizes a lot of things that people would find in many different places online, and tell them, hey, I'll give you this guide for $7, right? And it's going to tell you exactly what you need to know. So there are ways for you to offer something very small, but it starts to get people in the right mindset, right? Get people in the right direction. And that helps you validate that there's a market for this. All right. So start thinking of things that you would have bought if it was presented to you at a reasonable price. Okay. Start coming up with these irresistible offers and create tiers. It's almost like a ladder, right? Create a ladder up to your premium services. You start with something that is small and irresistible, and you keep moving up in offer sizes until people are willing and open and excited to work with you. But it doesn't stop there. It's not like you put one out there and if it doesn't work, then you're done. You keep testing it. You keep coming up with new offers, and that's the fun the fun part of business. This is the place where I wish I could live 100% of the time. Is content creation, is thinking of new ways to attract an audience, is thinking of new materials to put out there for people to like and enjoy and to move the needle in their businesses and to move the needle in their lives. Like, I wish I could spend 100% of my time doing that, just the content creation. So have fun with it. Have fun with it. If it doesn't feel like it's fun, if it feels like it's a drag, then ask yourself if you picked the right idea and go back to step 2, right? Picking your idea. Okay? But when you have a coach, your coach will help you navigate all of this. So that covers it, guys. Those are the 5 next steps that you need to follow in order to start your business. So if you've ever felt, I want to start a business, I just don't know where to start, this is what you needed to do. But like I said before, in the beginning, the hard part of business is the mindset, is the believing that you can do it and holding that goal, holding that vision for yourself so alive in your mind that there's nothing that can stop you. Okay? I can give you strategy all day long and it's gonna do absolutely nothing if you don't believe this is possible. Okay? So watch out for the dog whistle that I gave you. Watch out for those red alerts, right? Watch out for those alarms that would go off in your head if things are not going right, and continue to pivot and continue to evolve and keep moving the needle forward. Okay? That's where my coach helped me. When I started out, I wanted to teach moms how to create websites. You look where I am right now. It's like 18 months later, and I'm teaching professionals how to start side businesses, not moms how to create websites. So it's not about sticking with it if it doesn't work. It's to continue to have the self-awareness to know that you're in the right place, doing the right things, and to keep moving the needle forward. So if you have any questions about this, you can always go to the Facebook group. Go to inacoveney.com/Facebook and it will take you straight there. Remember to spell Coveney right. It ends in EY. You can also follow me on Instagram at Ina Coveney. I'm the only Ina Coveney in the world. You can also subscribe to this podcast. And if you like what you heard, if you enjoy this, please go on to Apple Podcasts and give me a 5-star review and leave an honest review. Okay? I like 5-star reviews, but it doesn't have to be 5 stars. If you go there and you tell me exactly what you thought, you would help others pick up this podcast too. Okay? So if you leave a review, tell me about it. Don't do it in secret. Send me a message. I'm very easy to find. I'm the one who responds to all of my Facebook Messenger messages, all of my DMs on Instagram. Send me a message and tell me, hey, I just left you a review. I loved your stuff. And I'm going to be like, oh my God, this actually works, right? Which is exactly how you would feel if somebody came and told you that. So I would love to hear from you. Let me know that you did so that I can shout it from the rooftops. And if you have a business to promote, I can tell everybody to go and follow you as well. So don't miss out on that opportunity. I will do that for you. So this is where it ends. I actually have to go upstairs. It's our last day in Israel and I have to go upstairs and get my bag out in the hallway so that they can take it away. I need to go have breakfast, enjoy my last day here. And I really hope to hear from you soon through Facebook Messenger, through Instagram. Tell me what you thought of this podcast. And if you're listening to this on your phone, you can also take a screenshot and post it on Instagram and tag me on it so that I can thank you. I really hope that you got a lot out of this. I love doing this for you. This is my sweet spot. It's the content creation part. And I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys. Bye. Thank you for listening to Trailblazing Out of Corporate Life. If you feel like you need a little bit more help, more information, I give free trainings and free challenges all the time. To stay in the loop, go to inacoveney.com/join. But you have to spell Coveney right. It ends in EY. All of the content for this podcast was created and edited by yours truly, Ina Coveney, and the music you heard is from Jared Lebel. All right, guys, have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye. Yay, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to click subscribe right here. And if you're a podcast listener, go and search for Trailblazing Out of Corporate Life and you'll get me through your ears. All right, guys, have a great one. And don't forget, right here, subscribe.